Hi, I'm your self-care instructor for today. I like to call it self-care, um, this practice that we're going to begin instead of meditation, because for me, meditation is a form of taking really good care of myself, really good care of myself. So I'm Afi Ayanna. I am a certified holistic health coach. I call it a soulistic health coach, as well as a registered advanced yoga teacher. And I really want to share with you today a practice that has changed and in many ways saved my life. Um, why I say it saved my life is that I believe in a process called self-inquiry, where you ask lots and lots of questions about everything all the time, but most importantly about yourself, about how you're feeling, about what you're thinking, and how that in turn affects not only the outer world around you, but affects the inner world. So like I said, I love asking questions. Questions a lot of times that people might think are silly, or a lot of times people don't even take the time to think about these things. So today what I would like is for us to find some time and some space, some mental space, to really begin to think deeply about the way we think. So I want you to think today of our time together as a science experiment, right? So your mind is a test site, and everything that you experience, everything that comes up during the session is 100% completely valid. There is no right, there is no wrong. It's just all information. So let's just explore in this time together the way you would explore a thick, dense jungle filled with greenery and with trees and all types of wild animals, and there's lots of surprises in there. It's a place you've never been before, perhaps. You might go to corners of your mind that you didn't even know existed. So I just would love for you, my true desire for you is for you to just have a little bit of your curiosity piqued, that you just get excited about mindfulness and about meditation. And we'll explore a little bit further on what the word mindfulness is. But for right now, all you need to know is that you need to have an open mind. And also, if you could grab a blank piece of paper, a pen, or a pencil to write with, that would be great. And I know a pen and pencil is a little old school, but there's something different I really believe that happens when you actually take a pen and a piece of paper and you write something down. There's a different cognitive or a different process that happens in your thoughts, of actually taking in the information, sifting it through your brain, and instead of just typing it in, actually having to, in your own unique font, in your own unique fashion, put that idea down on pen and paper. So we're actually going to take in this information into our brains, and we're going to explore a little bit on paper, but not too much. Not too much writing, but just little bits here and there to kind of break up the meditation practice, the self-care practice that we're going to be doing today. So it's a different type of experiment. We're going to begin. So put your scientist cap on and let's the experience begin. Okay. Step one is arriving in the breath. Now, I want you to take a moment with your eyes open or closed, and I want you to notice what you may be bringing with you from this day so far, or the week, or this month. I know there's been a lot going on this month, or this lifetime, this week, this month feels like a life. I mean, there's been like a million days in the month of April alone, and we're only halfway through it, I'd probably say, or maybe just towards the end of it. Geez. But anyways, if there is anything in particular that's calling to your attention, I just want you to take one moment. You can acknowledge that. And if it's that important, just let it know. Thanks for that information. I appreciate you. I'm going to come back and get you later. But for right now, we are taking this time aside, and we are going to listen to that phone ringing right now. Hold on, let me pause this. This moment right now hasn't happened before. It didn't happen later. It might be recorded, but this is the first time you're hearing it. And so this moment right now is perhaps the most important moment of your whole day, because you're actually drawing in your attention and listening to the fact that you're bringing your mind's attention to right now, and right now, and right now, and right now. Every one of these moments is a present. It is actually a present that's given to you, and you have the ability to call your attention to it. And I know there's so many times in our day, right, where we're just mindlessly scrolling and mindlessly thinking, or letting our attention be called to all these different places. So I am just asking you to use your attention in this present moment and bring yourself deeper into welcoming yourself here. So I want to thank you for showing up, first of all, with this heartfelt curiosity. So we can do this deeper, but by not only calling in the moment with our mind, but also by calling in this moment with our breath, right? Okay. So I want you to find the most comfortable seat that you can find yourself in, so that your spine can be really tall and straight. So if it's leaning up against a wall, so be it. You can do that. If you want to sit on the edge of your chair, you can do that. If you want to sit with your legs crossed in a traditional lotus posture, you can do that. If you want to, like right now, I'm just sitting with my knees crossed underneath me like this. That's comfortable for me right now where I'm sitting. So you can do that. So whatever you want to do, go on with your bad self and get yourself in a position so that you are feeling nice and straight and tall and supported and alive and awake. So you can even lie down if you want to, but I'm going to keep calling your attention back to this present moment because I don't want you to fall asleep. I think some of the hardest meditation poses are actually laying down, because you're letting yourself lay down without falling asleep. So whatever you can do to make yourself feel comfortable and have your spine nice and straight, you can do that. And this is cool because if you're at school, right, you can't lay down at school, but I'm going to let you do that right now. Or you're going to let yourself do that. So you take this moment and get yourself arriving in this breath. So the first step of arriving is this acknowledgement of the breath that is happening. So we're going to take a deep breath. And what this breath is going to do, it is going to signal to your brain that you are arriving, that you are shifting gears out of, like I said, the past or what's going to happen next, and that you are, with your breath, signaling that you're moving from a state of doing into just simply allowing all that activity, all the movement, all the things, all the thoughts, all the things, all the moments before, that you're arriving right here, right now. Okay? So I want you to inhale in through your nose. Filling the belly all the way up with air, and exhale out at an audible, noisy sigh. Like someone is getting on your nerves and you just want to let them know, and that you want to just let out a little create some space for yourself, okay? So again, we're going to inhale in through the nose. Inhaling and carving out space in the body. You might even feel your ribs expanding. And then exhaling out a nice, noisy, labored, whatever pace is comfortable for you. And again, inhaling in through your nose, fresh air deep into your lungs, feeling it going down, warming all the way down past your heart. And when you're ready, exhaling out, another deep, long, letting go of all the moments before that brought you to sitting here in this present moment. Okay, so keeping with this inhale, inhaling in, signaling, inhaling and signaling. I made up my own word there. We're signaling to the brain, whoa, 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 okay. I'm the one who's in control here. This breath here is the breath that is filling me up. And I am now focusing on breathing. So inhaling it in again. Breathe every exhale out. And exhaling out. With that pause. And I want you to keep with this inhaling in. Letting yourself have the power to guide your thoughts out of any places that don't feel good. With the inhale and exhaling out anything that isn't serving you in this moment. Anything that's keeping you from feeling present right now. So I want you to use this supported breath, allow the support of the breath. Keeping with that audible sigh, to just carve out space. So you might even want to think of this as if you are a pumpkin. You know, when you take a pumpkin, and you take a knife and you carve out the eyes and the nose to the light behind you, that you are right now using this breath to carve out space in your being, in your mind, in your body, with this loud, audible exhale. So now that you've found your seat for today, the place where you're going to reside for our short time together, I would like you to please go ahead and close your eyes if they haven't been closed already. I just want you to feel comfortable, to acquaint yourself with keeping your eyes gently closed. And if you don't want to close your eyes, if you're not feeling like you're in a space where you can close your eyes, it's better to just keep your eyes softly open with a soft focus. Just relax your eye muscles. You can even gaze at the tip of your nose or something eye level with you. Because in meditation, one of the ancient meditation sayings is, where your eyes go, your attention goes. So just letting the eyes and the focus be soft. And keeping with that inhalation in, through the nose, filling up the belly, filling up the breath, and exhaling out. Just bringing your attention inward. Allowing the sound of my voice to be a gentle guide. We're just going to be here for another 2 or 3 minutes. I am an experienced guide that's just going to have the light at the front of this path we're going into the jungle of your mind, into this inner terrain. And I just use my voice as something to kind of guide you along the path. So going back to this deep breath, exhaling out, just allowing your intention to lengthen your breath. So you might even inhale 1, 2, 3, and extending the exhale 1, 2, 3. Bringing some awareness to the center of your chest. You might even place your hands on your chest. And begin to feel the beating of your heart underneath your hands. As you inhale in, 2, 3. And exhaling out, 2, 3. And my dear friend, we're just going to take a moment here to begin to notice, how are you feeling today? I want you to come into the role of the observer. Really give yourself a seat at the table with your breath. So inhaling in, I find it helpful that when you close the eyes, you have this ability to see what maybe you might not be able to see with your eyes open. So just relax your shoulders. You can even rotate them up and down and back. Rotate them up towards the ears again and shrug them down and back away from the ears. And just returning to that breath. Inhaling in, 2, 3, exhaling out, 2, 3, whatever pace that you're inhaling. But I'm just encouraging you to just get a little bit more inhaling and extend out the breath to the exact same exhale. So even if your count is faster, if it's inhale in, 2, 3, exhale out, 2, 3, just encouraging you to slow down the breath a little bit. Because when we slow down the breath, it's a tool to help us slow down the thoughts, right? So just returning to this breath, inhaling in, 2, 3, exhaling out, 2, 3. And I want you to let me know, how are you feeling in this moment right now? Just think about it for a second. We're carving out the space with the breath, and we're going to let go of that. So grab your pen and paper. Grab that pen and paper. And I want you to just take a second to write down how you're feeling. You can draw a picture. You can just write it down in one word. If you don't have a pen and paper, okay, grab your dang device, but please don't. Or take a mental note. Taking a mental note is better because then you're going to see some whatever alert on your phone and your attention will get called away from this. And the whole thing is we're bringing your attention in. So carving out the space with the breath, I just want you to remember that you can take this 1, 2, 3 inhale breath and 1, 2, 3 exhale breath as a way to carve out space. And maybe you found out something about how you're feeling right now. It might just be a simple word. It might be a thought. It might be a color. You think in lots of different ways. It might be a song that came to your mind. That's fine too. So I just want you to take that information and I want you to let it go. So again, coming back into your seat, coming back into your comfortable seat. I know my legs were starting to get numb. If you sit in one position for too long, that'll happen. So give yourself a little wiggle out if you need to do that. Give yourself a little wiggle. And I want you to settle back into your comfortable tall seat, rolling your shoulders up, down, and back. Breathing in. And I just want you to close your eyes again. Nice and tall through the spine, imagining that there's a string pulling you really tall up towards the sky, like you're a plant reaching towards the center of the cosmos, towards the sun, just growing in that light as you're grounding into the sit bones, or grounding into, if your back is on the floor, you're lying down. And I just want you to begin to think of this concept of settling the score. So we're going to take a moment to settle the score. Now that we asked how we're feeling today, I want you to just close your eyes, inhaling in through your nose, exhaling out on the ha, and just acknowledging of how you feel as a way to bring you closer into this moment. So you might even begin to think of how you're feeling, not judging it. There's no right or wrong answer. There's no right or wrong feeling. If you wanted to think of how you're feeling, you could give it a name. You could think of it as a mischievous little character from a cartoon. So I want you to use your imagination and think, what would this cartoon character look like? What would its voice be like? Would it have a high-pitched voice or a low-pitched voice? And inhaling in, just keeping with your breath, just keeping it curious. We're experimenting, right? We're just exploring the mind right now. So how you're feeling today. So without any judgment, in a few short words, if this character, this cartoon character, had something to say to you, what would it be saying? So inhaling in, you might be smiling right now, thinking about it. You might be like, what are you talking about? You might be kind of mad at this little character right now. I just want you to acknowledge that little cartoon character, that little feeling of how you're feeling today. And I want you to tell it, thank you for your opinion. Thank you for this information. I'm moving on to a new thought, and I'm going to let it go. So open up your eyes. Okay? So I want you to grab your pen and your paper again, or grab your mental pen and paper. And honestly, even if you don't have a pen and paper, I want you to take your finger and write on the palm of your hand. I used to do this when I was a kid at school. I would write the answers to my test questions, not with pen and paper, but as a way for me to get the information into my head. This is the way I would study for tests. And I was really too. I know, like a little nerd, but it worked. I'm just saying all that to say it works. So I want you to take this pen and your paper, and I want you to just take a moment. So remember, when we first started, we said that we're going to try something new. And a lot of times when we're exploring, when we're trying something new, we experience criticism. A lot of criticism or a lot of judgment from the inside. So the fact of the matter is that each one of us, each and every one of us has what I like to call a little bitty, a little tiny inner critic, a little inner gangster, a little inner thug that is going to give us some information. We might take that information and use it, or we might take that information and say, that's not really true. That's information, but I don't know. I don't know if I really agree with you. So with that cartoon character that came up for you, I just want you to think, so to give us just a little space to explore these new ideas in our mind, I just want you to think, if that, we're talking about a feeling, how are you feeling today? If that cartoon character was a feeling, would you necessarily pat that little character on the back and say, such great information, or I agree with you, I'm always feel like this, or can you just take it as some information and keep it moving? So anyways, I just want you to just write down for a little bit the answers to the questions that you were just thinking about. So what does this character look like? What kind of a voice does it have? And if it spoke to you, what did it say? Just information. We're not judging it. And you might notice it might be a critical little bugger. For example, my character that I was thinking of today, he's Festus. He's kind of like a grumpy guy. He's kind of, you know, unhappy, a little, it's kind of like a worm. You know, whatever it is, I'm not judging what came up. I was not expecting to think that. I've encountered Festus before, but he doesn't normally look like that. But anyways, I'm just saying, we're just asking a lot of questions. We're just exploring the contents of our mind. And we're just going to let that go. That's some information. That's a feeling. And we're just going to keep on going down this wild path of exploration. So we're going to turn into another corner of our mind and go down a new path of exploration. And ahead, I see a big question, which is what is mindfulness? So we're going to think about this for a second with your eyes open, and you can grab that piece of paper that you have, and I want you to, let's break the word apart. Mindfulness. So what is the mind? Okay. So we see it could just be a definition of what you think the mind is. Is the mind thoughts? Is the mind thinking? And then what is fullness? Okay. And I just want you to write that down. So I'm going to go and pull up here the definition of mindfulness in the dictionary. So mindfulness, the mind, is the element of a person that enables them to be aware of the world and their experiences. So the mind is a noun. It is the element of a person that enables them to be aware of the world and their experiences. The element of a person that allows them to think and to feel. So also the mind is a person's intellect. So we can think of the mind like that. And then we are going to look up fullness. The state or capacity of being full. So mindfulness is, we put the two words together, it would be the capacity to think and to feel, and the state of being filled with thoughts and feelings. So if we put the two words together, that would mean, that's what the words would mean. But also, if we just, like we were saying, wanted to just look at the definition of mindfulness, mindfulness is a noun, the quality or state of being conscious or aware of something. A mental state achieved by focusing one's awareness on the present moment while calmly acknowledging and accepting one's thoughts, feelings, and bodily sensations. So these are some things that we're exploring. Thoughts do. Thoughts keep you busy. If I wrote that the mind is busy, busy thoughts might be, constantly thinking. So if the mind is constantly thinking, then the state of the mind is doing its job, right? The mind thinks. That's what it's doing. That's what it does, right? That's what it does. So you can't be mad at the mind for thinking because essentially it's doing its job, right? So the mind is full all the time. It thinks things, it sees things, it tastes, it's looking at things, it wants things, it has questions, it has words. If you've ever seen a baby learning language, they're just trying to, even they might not have words, but the baby is still thinking. You can see the thoughts coming on their mind. They're looking and pointing and wanting things. So that's, even without language, the mind is exploring. And the mind is doing its job of thinking. So we can't be mad at the mind for doing its job, which is thinking. But have you ever thought so much that it just started to turn you in circles? Like right now, I'm just asking you all these questions, and you're like, what's she talking about? Why does she keep asking all these questions? So this is what I said. We're going to go into a process of self-inquiry, of asking questions that maybe you haven't thought about before. And we're going to begin to explore what and how the mind does what it does. So, for example, we noticed to begin with, we use the breath to focus in on the mind. We carved out the space by breathing 1, 2, 3, inhaling and then exhaling out, creating more space. We explored the mind by seeing how we're feeling today, acknowledging our feelings, and then we even explored, was there were we critical? Who is this cartoon character? Who is this, how are we thinking these thoughts? And how are we feeling? And is that even valid? Is that even true? So I hope you enjoyed today's video and that you will come back again for more explorations of the mind and mindfulness.